Hey YouTube, I'm here to talk about Assassin's Creed Shadows. First impressions. Pretty fun game. I went on a shopping spree. I have money. Sorry to admit it. Um, I haven't got to the part where you can, play both characters yet, but, so I'm after the prologue, and got to the main base area, as they called the hideout. So, basically, I'm only in this small section now, and I have some things to say. So, prologue, and let me just go into inventory for this. See, prologue is too fucking long. I'm talking 3 hours and 49 minutes by my timer on my phone. That's accurate, too. I started at the minute gameplay started, okay? 3 hours. Technically 4 hours, because I skipped past some cutscenes and dialogue, because it was starting to get long after the 2 hour mark. And it's funny that even after all that skipping, it still took another hour and 49 minutes to just get past that. You see the problem? Like, it could have actually, you know what? No. Not just 4 hours. 4 hours and 30 minutes. 4 hours and, or maybe even 5 hours long. That is a little bit too long for a prologue. I feel like they should add a skip button if you start another game. If you start another, let's say you want to play a new game. Sorry about my feet there. If you want to play another game, you know what I mean by another game. If you want to, let's say you want to restart the main story because you haven't played it in a few years, which is going to happen eventually for people, even me. Feel like they need to add an update for the game where you can skip past the prologue, because that is just too fucking long. So hell no. Second, I like the combat. Combat's fun. Samurai and assassin stuff, kind of fun, though it's a little janky. However, movement speed is increased up the ass. I have not seen this much movement speed since... Actually, this is probably the first time I've seen it. Not even Assassin's Creed Mirage had that much movement speed. It was actually pretty good on movement. Overall, the story is very in-depth, but for me, it's like I'm reading a novel, and I just can't get into the story all that much. I'm just like, I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan. I've been playing even since the first game on Xbox 360, okay? I am that old of an Assassin's Creed fan. I've even read some of the books. Don't remember them, but I know I've read a few of them. And it's just, as someone who's a fan of Assassin's Creed, so much that I've played every game, including Unity. This one, I don't know, the story is not... The samurai story seems more interesting than her. That's what I'm trying to get into. Her story about revenge, basically her story, without trying to spoil too much, it's just not my peak interest. At least with Yosuke, I think that's how you pronounce it. He actually is more interesting because he's a badass samurai. He's like the first thing you play as, and my god, does he kick ass. I love it. This character's a little more fast than big and heavy, but I prefer big and heavy in games. Other than that, though, the game's pretty okay. A little bit too long, got a little annoyed for how long the prologue was, but now that I'm in the base game, I'm gonna basically play through it and give another update about how good or bad it is. Overall, not that bad, as long as you can either you can suffer along through the long prologue. Remember, nearly 4 hours and 30 minutes as long as you didn't skip anything. So pretty long prologue there. A little bit too long if you're asking me. As an indie game developer to a AAA studio like Ubisoft, don't do this again or add something to skip it if we want to do a second playthrough, because that's annoying. Okay, that's annoying. Please don't redo that. But other than that, I think it's pretty okay. I'm kind of enjoying the visuals, and I've always loved Japan. I don't know why. I know why they didn't do this sooner, because it's cliche. I'm glad they waited. But another thing I feel like they should have added is somewhat of a modern day section, because it's kind of like Unity's opening modern day section. It doesn't give you your character a name. You're just in a video thing. You know, you don't have a name. You're just playing as these people now. I don't know why people hate modern day. I like the modern day. In fact, I believe they are ramping up to a modern day with the Basm story from Mirage and Valhalla. I feel like that is ramping up to a modern day Assassin's Creed or something. But like I said, this game's pretty okay for now. I just want it to be. I don't want it to be shite, and I want it to actually be, like, good. Though I've heard the story so far, from what I've heard, is that it's long. And I just hope it's not as long as Odyssey and Valhalla. Like, I loved Valhalla, I loved Odyssey, I loved Origins, but those other two, too long for a game, okay? Way too long. Hopefully this one's not as long.